Hello everybody, my name is Welcome.
Have you ever worked on another beautiful sketch and wanted to make this piece look powerful, dynamic, and explosive? Or maybe you're completely new to drawing and also want to learn how to make your piece look super expressive, but you really have no idea how to do that. Chances are you might be in a similar situation right now since you clicked on this video. So, with no further ado, here is a quick and simple tutorial that will tell you everything you need to know in 3 simple steps. So sit tight, take a drawing utensil of your choice and start creating alongside me. Enjoy! A commonly known thing amongst artists is if you want to make a character look more dynamic, it all starts with the right gesture. It's super important to choose a pose that provides movement, because if your character is just, standing there menacingly, you won't really get the appearance of power when there is no power in terms of movement to begin with. Even the slightest head tilt or a character cracking his neck is enough to make them look like a real powerhouse. That of course also includes an exaggerated facial impression, widely opened eyes, a wide open shouting mouth and jaw. And with that we're pretty much already at step 2 on our list. Exaggeration is one of those things where most people tend to hold back on themselves, because usually they don't want their character to look weird in a psychopathic way, but more like in a outburst of emotion kind of way. In this case, it determines on what kind of expression, and by that emotional status is intended to be shown by the character's impression. If we're working with a humorous scene, then obviously a more funny, less serious and psychopathic way is actually way more fitting than other styles. But in contrast to that, my attacking scene here is intended to put emphasis on the strength and wildness of the character, so for me a crazy look of madness was just the right thing to do. Now, talking about how to portray that, I mostly use wrinkles. If a person shifts their facial expressions too much from its usual and casual look, wrinkles appear. So, just like in real life, the more power you want to add to your expression, the more wrinkles are needed to emphasize that. Now, of course, this only works to a certain amount, so be careful with adding too much because you don't want everyone to look like an overaged geezer. Back in my beginner days, like I'm not in my beginner days anymore, Ever since shading has been just as much of a problem for me as for everyone else. I'm still struggling a lot when it comes to shading with colors, but still, we all need good shading, somewhat. Especially in our case here. Shading is like probably the most important aspect when it comes to dynamic and powerful expressions. It is very crucial to emphasize and support the action that's happening with a fitting shading style. While for calmer scenes, you would ideally use soft and, just a softer shading with lighter tones of gray and black, we want the full Kamehameha, King Kong gun, Hollow Purple Rasengan, or even Dark Souls atmosphere kind of shading. We shade heavy. And you don't need to use a big variety of shading layers to do this. 2 to 3 dark tones are completely enough to make your character feel unstoppable. So, quickly figure out from which angle the light source should come from and then start going to town. A technique I personally like to use, and also used in this example here, is first making a more or less roundly or flat shaped shadow, and then scribble all kinds of dense lines and cracks in the side of which the light source is coming from, or I guess strikes the character from. By doing that, we get a nice rough and speedy looking whoosh effect, I guess you could say, on the character's surface. So something I didn't draw in this case, but something that is also an option to put more emphasis on the expression of your character if you want it to be more powerful, and actually if you want to be the entire to have the entire scene look more powerful is, of course, designing the background in a way that also supports the movement in the scene and the expression. For example, if someone is shocked about something, then you could make like a star kind of thingy pop out of their head in the background. That is a very often and commonly used thing in manga, for example. Or I don't know if you know this moment, but when Gohan for the first time against Cell turned into Super Saiyan 2, there is this red line that shoots through his head, and that is like the moment right before his anger just completely explodes. Something like that also is very helpful if you want to have your characters be more expressive and show even stronger and more emotions overall. And yeah, with that thought, I will end today's video. I hope I could give yourself a nice quick tutorial on how to draw exaggerative expressions of characters to make them look even more strong and powerful and stuff. And if you enjoyed today's video and if you want to support me, then of course feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, as I always and usually tell you, feedback is the most important thing for every artist in the world. So please make sure to give me a quick feedback in the comment section. Maybe you also have some pieces of advice for my audience and for the world. Then if so, then please feel free to share them in the comment section down below. I'm very excited to see your thoughts on what I showed in today's video. But with that, I thank everyone for tuning in for today, and bye bye.